1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Unless you're playing board games, because sometimes there are games like this that you get to play solo by yourself with nobody around. Let's get into it. Welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers. Today we're talking about solo board gaming, and yep, Metal Gear Solid is our number 10. Just kidding, haven't played this game nearly enough to even rank it, but I'm hoping that I can one day, but we'll see about that. So I'm just gonna put it off to the side. But today we're talking about solo board games, and again, there are solo only games like Final Girl, which I liked Final Girl, but it's fine. And Warp's Edge, which is amazing, but it didn't make the list. It actually made the list last year. Final Girl, I think, made last year's list, or the year before that. I don't remember the last time I did solo only board games. But these games are not solo only. I don't have enough board games for solo only. I have a lot of games that I like to play by myself. Those are the ones that made this top 10. So there are going to be some in this top 10 that I think all of them play one player solo, but very differently. So before we get into that list, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and in that comment section, let me know what's your favorite game to play by your lonesome. Put it in the comment section and we'll talk about it. I love to get back to every single comment that I see, but if you are a member of this channel, I'm actually uploading a second video, which is going to be some more solo games that I really like to play that didn't make the cut for the top 10, but they're still really, really good games, and I can give you some of my opinions on some of those. So become a member and you can see some of that extra content that we make. Not to mention you get early access to all my videos when they come out. You're the first people that get to see them, and then everybody else gets them. With that said, let's get into this list. First off on the list is Unmatched Adventures. Man, as soon as the Ninja Turtles version of this game comes out, I will have no life at all. I will be on that game 24/7. Yeah. Because Unmatched is such a good system, and this is the cooperative version, so like the competitive version, you always have to have a player to play against, but in the cooperative, you can actually just pick two characters that you want to play with against a villain who flips over a deck that feels a little bit like Marvel Champions, which coincidentally did not make this list as well. There's a lot of games that dropped out of my solo only games, but I really like playing this one, man. And not only that, all the expansions that we have, like with Squirrel Girl and She-Hulk and Daredevil and all these other cool characters, Moon Knight, you can port them directly into this to play against the bosses, and it is so much fun. I like that this system incorporated a way that it's not like, oh, well, this is the cooperative version, so we have different cards for different characters. That could have went really ugly really fast, but they made it so that every expansion works, except for some of them. They're kind of wonky, like T-Rex versus Mothman might not work out the way that you're hoping, but still a really, really cool game, and I love the way that they incorporated everything into Unmatched. Next on my list, ISS Vanguard. ISS Vanguard is so sick. Like, this is Space Gloom Haven. Like, I really like this game. It is dungeon crawler, campaign app driven, but it's got it's not super driven by the app. The app provides like ambient sound and some cool like things. What I usually do is I have like this little mechanical arm with my phone on it, and I'll just play the audio from there, and it'll narrate and do different things. This game is really, really awesome. I haven't played it enough. That's why it's more towards the bottom of this list, because I've played maybe a few scenarios. I haven't beaten this one, but it's definitely one of those games that like I would highly recommend if you like space theme. So if you're like into a lot of the campaign games, which coincidentally, I'll tell you this right off the bat, most of the games on this list are going to be like campaign games, so this could double as kind of like a campaign list as well, but not everything here has a campaign to it, I don't think. But definitely campaign games make amazing solo experiences because you can just play as like two of the characters and just roll your way through it. So I really love ISS Vanguard. Again, I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but it's a really, really good game. I've really enjoyed playing it, but I need to play it some more. But the miniatures, the production quality, everything about this game is fantastic. Definitely need to get it to the table more often, but that's my New Year's resolution this year. I am actually going to play all of my campaign games, and I'm going to beat them and be done with them. And then I'm not going to buy any more. Said nobody ever. We're buying more. All right, after ISS Vanguard is this game, which I think I'll just take the lid. Oh my gosh. Agonia. Oh my goodness. I'm slowly making my way through this one now. This is the one that I chose to go ahead and try to beat right off the bat. Haven't played Sleeping Gods. I really want to get that one played, but my wife wants to play that one with me, so I have to wait till she wants to play and stuff like that. So you know how that works. I think there's a lot of people who can identify with how I'm feeling. That's why we play solo games, because our wives don't play with us. Anyways, so Agonia is an amazing campaign game, and think Gloom Haven, but the production quality in this game to me puts Gloom Haven to shame. Like I feel like they learned so much from Gloom Haven that they were able to like one-up Gloom Haven on almost multiple levels, component quality and everything. I think Gloom Haven, like bare box, like when you get the like campaign box, you get like all the stuff that's in it, but there's not like metal coins or anything like that. This has all of the like, well, maybe not. They might have a deluxe version. This one has cardboard components as well, but if you get the deluxe version, it's very, very nice. But I really like Agonia. It's a fun game. It's amazing, and I'm working through the campaign now, but the characters are really cool. They have backstories. It's got lore and a whole lore book that it comes with if you get the deluxe version, but it also has an app that helps drive the campaign forward and makes a lot of the campaigning really easy. I don't want to go through too many details or any of the scenarios, but it's really cool, some of the interesting things that you can do in this game that you couldn't do in like Gloom Haven, but it's still really, really good. I really enjoy this game. I need to play it more. I don't know if it'll dethrone Gloom Haven for me, but it's definitely close, and I really like this game. So that's Agonia. Next game on my list is Too Many Bones, which I should have pulled it out first, but it's just, I hate flipping this thing sideways. This game weighs so much for such a small game. It is exceptionally heavy, but not only is it heavy like weight, like actual weight wise, but complexity wise too, man. This is a hard game to beat. I love this game, but it's basically like a chip theory game, so all of your characters are just chips, but then you have like these little red life chips that you stack up for like your health, and then when you take damage, you just take chips out, and it's so cool, and you move around this like checkers map looking thing. It's got like little circles, and it's a small tiny little battle map. It's one of the things I didn't like about the game was like, man, like every scenario you're playing on these battle maps, but each scenario feels very different. The bosses and the things you battle against feel very different, and the strategies vary greatly, but it's always on the same little map. But man, the production quality of this game is amazing. It does have a campaign mode to it, but you could play it solo, and I love playing solo. You could play as 2 gear locks, or you could just play as like the 1, but that's very difficult. But playing with 2, I think, is like exceptional. And you just choose 2 gear locks that you want to play as and roll dice, man. It's a dice chucking game, but you can upgrade those dice, and it's such a cool system that they've created. I really love chip theory games, and I have a sneaking suspicion that their next one, which is the Elder Scrolls chip theory game, which should be arriving at my doorstep like in the next like week or two, is another game that's going to make my top 10, which maybe I should have done this video later on in the year once I've played all of these. But the reality is, you know what, it'll make maybe next year's list. But Too Many Bones, amazing. There's so many expansions and things you can do for this game, but core box alone, you have more than enough content. You don't have to buy all those expansions because you can do a lot with just that. Next up on my list after Too Many Bones is Slay the Spire. Yo, Slay the Spire is amazing. I love the video game. The board game does the video game perfectly. So if you've played the video game and you enjoyed it, Slay the Spire, the board game, will not disappoint you. It is a deck builder, but you are climbing a tower and just defeating bosses and going to different rooms to fight like little minions and stuff. But every time you win, you get to upgrade your deck and get new cards, and then some of the cards you upgrade them and turn them to their backs. And this game comes with full sleeves for all of your cards, so you can sleeve everything. And when you buy new cards, you take cards out, you can call cards out of your deck and then put new cards. You can upgrade those cards by flipping them backwards, and it's just such a unique deck builder. And each character has like their own like set of skills that they bring to the table, and you can play as 1 or 2 of those characters, and just kind of like you each get a lane, and then the villains line up in those lanes, and then you're just knocking out villains, you know, one at a time until you get to the bosses, and then the bosses have like their own mechanisms for how they work, and it's really, really interesting. Slay the Spire is amazing. The production quality is great. Man, solo, I love this game. Can you play it with more people? Yeah, this plays 1 to 4, but I really love playing this alone because it's just like I can do my own thing, and I don't have to worry about other people's poor decision-making skills and, you know, setting me behind or anything like that. But that is amazing. Slay the Spire. Next up on my list is Viticulture Essential Edition with the Tuscany expansion. Viticulture solo mode, the autumn for this game that they created is so good. I think that's something that I really enjoy about some of the Stonemaier games. I don't know if all of them have great solo modes, but the solo mode for this is so simple, and the way that it works, and it's just like basically like certain spots get taken up by the automa, which is like you flip a card and it tells you which spots get taken up, and then it's like, man, I really needed to go there, and it perfectly simulates, from what I can tell, perfectly simulates playing with like a real person, like that feeling of, oh, they took my spot, now I got to use my grande worker to go to that spot, and then now, but I also need to do this. And so it's like really cool, man. I love the way they did the automa in this game. Stonemaier usually does a pretty good job of that, but Viticulture is great because you're just, you know, making wine, and it's just really cool to, you have harvesting grapes, you put them into your cellar, you make wine out of them, then you age them for a little while. It's super cool, man. I love Viticulture. It's still one of my favorite Euro games of all time, and I love playing this game solo. Like, I absolutely enjoy it and adore it. And if you've never tried it, give it a try. Like, if you have the game, there's also, they have the cooperative expansion with what is it called, Viticulture World, which I haven't played that one yet, but I'm assuming you could probably solo that as well, and maybe that makes an even better solo experience. But I like the automa in this game. I don't really like a lot of those automas that they make, but this one happens to be very good. The next game on my list, my number 4, is Ark Nova, which I'm just going to pull out the Marine Worlds expansion because I didn't feel like pulling out the whole. It's like on the bottom. It's literally right there. And I'm like, I don't want to pull all of the stuff on top of it just to bring that out. So I'll just bring this up. So with the Marine Worlds expansion, which I haven't played yet, but I like playing Ark Nova, but I need to get this to the table again so I can try it with the expansion. But there are so many different solo modes that exist for this game. There's like the solo mode that the game came with, which is, by the way, phenomenal. There's also the Arno, which is like an online solo mode that they made. There's another one I believe that somebody came up with that like simulates another player. But for me, I don't know why, because I've tried the different versions. I like the one that comes in the box. I feel like I was talking to somebody about that, maybe in the comment section not that long ago, but I really just enjoy the original solo mode where it has a little cube and you move it down the little track. And I don't know, I feel like it does a really good job of just making the game a little more difficult, and you're just trying to beat your own high score. I like that, and I just think that Ark Nova is just, it's fun with people, but when you play it solo, it actually cuts like a lot of the time out when you play it with like multiple people. Playing this game at 4 is a great experience. It just takes forever, and then getting people to try to play this game is tough. But when you play solo by yourself, you don't have to worry about that. I don't have to teach it to nobody. It takes a lot of the parts of Ark Nova I don't like and just remedies it completely, which Ark Nova by itself solo is a great solo game, and I really love playing it. My number 3, oh, this is gonna be tough. I literally almost hurt my back getting this off the shelf. You know, in hindsight, I could have just pulled off the lid of this thing and just left it. I put this on the top of my shelf like a doofus, but man, ISS Vanguard, I'm gonna keep it there because it's literally blocking the microphone while it's there. This game literally weighs 50 pounds. It is just full of like chips, like a chip theory game. But the reason why is because it's a bag builder. But it is a campaign game. It's meant to be played at 2, but you can't play it by yourself, which I like doing. But you're always playing as 2 characters, and those 2 characters go on missions together. And then later on, they switch out with other characters. And then literally like the minis that they have, the miniatures have both characters on one like base, and you put them like back to back, and they're like fighting back to back, right? And then when they go on missions with other characters, you can replace the miniature with another miniature into the same base, and like you have like both of them on the same. It's so cool, man. And I love the bag building element to it, where you're pulling chips out, and those chips determine what you can do on your turn. You got different abilities, those abilities level up, and you got these different like rubies and different emerald, like what do you call those, like minerals and things like that you can add to like weapons to make them stronger and things like that. It's so cool, man. Like, I've really enjoyed my experience. I got the foreteller narration app, which has the fully narrated of this, and man, the voice acting on that is stellar. This is a really cool campaign game. It is a table log. It's going to take up your whole table for as long as it takes you to beat this game, but man, I cannot wait to sit down with my wife and just finish this thing, because it is so good, and getting it to the table is so much fun, and it's really cool as a 2-player game. As a matter of fact, you might see this again on my next list, which is going to be best 2-player games, and this will definitely be on there for sure. It may even be number 1, I'm not sure, but it weighs so much. I I gotta push it off this. Next up on my list, you probably guessed it, was Gloom Haven, and you'd probably be right because listen, Agonia, I know I was chatting and I was yapping and I was like, Agonia might just beat Gloom Haven, but it hasn't because I haven't finished it yet, and that's why it's on the bottom of the list. Because, come on, what's gonna dethrone Gloom Haven? Like, Gloom Haven is the quintessential dungeon crawler. And I love playing it solo. I've played it with 4 people, and I play it with my dungeon crawling group, which that's literally like our text name. Like, we called ourselves the Dungeon Crawlers. And it's a group of 4 of us, and we play games like this. We started Gloomhaven, we never finished it together. But man, I've taken the game out and played it solo. Perfect. Like, I love playing Gloomhaven by myself. Like, I don't have to worry about what other people are doing or what they're trying to accomplish. I can just play, and I play as 2 characters. I love doing that. Not everybody does, so like, don't take these as, oh, I'm telling you this is the best solo game of all time. This is just one of my favorite solo games because I love the solo mode of this. I love playing this with just 2 characters and playing through the campaign. It's super fun, and it scales well, and they have an app that somebody designed and made so that it can, like, you can kind of like run a lot of the stuff that I don't like doing in this game. That's like the biggest knock I have against it. This is Jaws of the Lion, by the way. This is like baby Gloomhaven, but it's still a really good deal. Like, if you can find this, I've seen people find this for like 20-30 bucks in some places, like at Target when it's on sale. For that price, this is insane value. And I like it because Jaws of the Lion has the little books that you open up and the maps are on there, so you don't have to set up all the tiles like you do in Big Boy Gloomhaven. Although that's still an amazing experience, and Frosthaven and all the other havens that exist. But Gloomhaven is amazing. I love Jaws of the Lion. I love the regular version, Big Boy version of Gloomhaven. They're all really, really good. If you are looking for a game that you can just set up on the table, leave it set up, and just play through it every day or every other day, come back to it and just play through the campaign, it's really, really fun. It's a lot of upkeep for a single person, but at the end of the day, when I do these board game nights and I'm doing like dungeon crawls and things like that for like 4 people, I'm doing everything anyway. I'm literally the DM, and I'm, you know, like, everybody at my table is like, oh, well, we didn't read the rule book, we just learning because I taught them. So a lot of times I end up just kind of running the game and doing everything for everybody. So it's like I can just do it by myself. I have no problem with that. But I love Gloomhaven, fantastic game. Can't wait to play some more of that. But until then, I will be playing my #1 game for soloing. Can you guess what it is? It's Feast for Odin. Oh my gosh, the solo mode in this game is great. And so basically the way the solo mode works, which I think is the reason why I love it at first, because I love playing Feast for Odin, and I was like, man, it's just a shame that I don't have people to play this against frequently. And I'm like, I could just play the solo mode. What's the solo mode like? And so the solo mode has, you choose 2 colors instead of just 1 color. You could choose like red and yellow, for example. And you'll put red on your map, right? And on your map, in like the little thinking square or whatever it's called, there's like a little circle where you put people, and that's the place in town. So those are your workers for this round. They'll be red ones. And then you have yellow ones that are off to the side on another area of your map. And then so you put out your red ones, you do your workers, you take all the actions you can with all your red workers. On your next round, you leave your red workers out on the board. They are blocking spaces, and then you use the yellow workers. And then those yellow workers, you could put them out on the board into different spaces, and then once those are all placed, you retract all of your red ones off the board, and now the yellow ones are blocking spaces, and you're getting new workers like each round. Dude, the solo mode in this was so well put together, and Feast for Odin is such an amazing game. It's in my top 10 games of all time, but playing this solo is such a great experience, and I highly recommend it. If you've got Feast for Odin at the house, or if you don't have a copy of this and you need to get a copy, it is a great solo game. I love playing this alone because it's just so fun, man. And to me, it's relaxing when you play by yourself, because it's very much a, like, you're scratching your chin, you know, you got your cup of coffee and you're placing your workers out and you're min-maxing. You're not being rushed by anybody, but you're just like, what can I do? I'm going to do this. And if I go over here, I'll take this, but on my next turn, that's going to be that. So you're just sitting here thinking and working and placing workers and stuff without the pressure of, I'm not trying to beat anybody. I'm just trying to beat my own high score. And man, the solo mode, I love Feast for Odin, and just by myself, such a fun experience to just sit there and contemplate life while I'm killing whales. So anyways, yeah, it does have whale killing. So if you're not into whale killing, probably don't play this game. But, I mean, that's what they did. That's what Vikings did. It's historical. I'm not saying to go out there and kill whales. I'm just saying that they used to kill whales. And they use their fat and blubber and all sorts of things so that way they can get... Well, if you like perfume, that comes from whales. But I think it comes from, like, their vomit. Anyway, I'm just assuming that I'm being attacked by somebody who really loves animals. But it's a really good game. I really enjoy Feast for Odin. But in the comment section, that's all mine. Let me know your solo games that you enjoy playing. And that way you can get them to the table and play them by yourself. All by myself. Don't wanna be... Wait, that's the opposite. I do want to be by myself so I can play all these great games. Anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys enjoy playing, and I'll see you guys later. All right. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. Oh, let me try it again because I was going to do... Or I was going to do the... All right. 1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. But not when you're playing board games, because then you get to play really amazing games like this one. Oh no, it's got a scuff on the top already. I am such a tool. Anyways, all right, try it again.